How's everybody doing this evening? I want to talk about what is EOS, E-O-S. And you hear a lot of information or a lot of people discuss EOS and what is it. There's a simple answer and then there's a not so simple answer to what EOS is. The simple answer is EOS is a decentralized platform for building applications. That's a simple answer, and a lot of people like to compare EOS with Ethereum, which is, they talk about scalability and they talk about decentralization. Those are kind of the easy ways of thinking of EOS. But that's like talking about a vehicle, a car, and saying it's a body and four wheels. I mean, there's a lot more complexity to a car than just a frame and four wheels. And that's just the same thing as EOS. EOS does more than distribute data out over a decentralized database or decentralized blocks, as I like to refer to them. There's a lot more complexity to it than that. And what I'm talking about is I'm talking about EOS not only being a platform, but it's also being a form of governance too. And what I mean by that is, in order to cure the problem of speed, cure the problem of scalability, you're going to have to bring in some sort of form of governance or some sort of platform so that you have stakeholders and you have people that are able to build blocks without having proof of work to build the block. You more or less have people that already have a stake in the environment or in the workspace to build the blocks, which speeds up the process. And then you have to have people that actually have some decision-making ability over the development of the blocks and the data, by making it so certain content has some limitations. So the more complex answer to what is EOS. EOS is a complex problem that is solved with technology, solved with governance, and solved with community. So there's a lot of stuff going on here with EOS, and you're talking about playing 10-dimensional chess here with a company like EOS. It is mind-blowing to think how complex this actually is, but yet again how simple. And if it's able to be pulled off, how earth-shaking, revolutionary this idea is. And it really, I think what EOS is trying to do is change the world. I mean, it's really literally what we're talking about here, is we're talking about changing the world. And removing third parties out of contracts, or removing third parties out of out of the equation, making it smart contracts and so on and so forth. This is really something. I would think this, and the reason why I've got excitement about EOS is because the developer of EOS, the brains behind EOS, actually has a smart platform, or actually has a social media platform going right now called Steamin, which is fabulous. You know, one of the things to me that's always hard for me to understand is how much computing power it takes just to have something like Google going, just to have all the people that interact with Google on a daily basis, all the people that go on Google and go to their Gmail, do a YouTube video, go into Google Docs, all the storage, all the information that transacts on a daily basis with a platform like Google. And you can see how Google is probably the world's biggest corporation, or the world's biggest company, or the world's biggest organization, just because the amount of transactions that take place on it on a daily basis. And then when you think that you take all that activity, and you move it into this world where it's all available to everybody at the same time, or all available to everybody at some time, you have come up with a very complex problem, So when people, and this is what, I hope people understand, that this is a very, very complex problem. And not that I'm anti-Ethereum, but when I listen to someone like Vitalik talk, I realize that he is a very, very intelligent person as far as the software side and as far as the development side, but not so worldly as I would say, because he's pretty young, as far as the governance side and as far as the community side of it. He is definitely trying to do this with theoretical ideas that I don't know how well play out in the real world. Not to mention the fact that people want to use this platform for free. So you get all these amenities to having unlimited amount of data on decentralized networks or decentralized platform, where you can go grab software, use software, do whatever you want to do with it, have all this incredible amount of information, on the blockchain, and then be able to use it for free. So all this is just mind-boggling stuff. I'd like to just do one channel. I'd like to just talk about EOS all the time, because EOS is trying to solve the world's problem, and the world's problem being centralized systems that take advantage of people. And it's more than just technology. It goes into governments and security. It goes into almost unlimited depths in our lives of all the things that go on. And what it really comes down to is, it really does come down to a community. And they talk about it all the time with EOS, about a community, about people being in a community, about how the community supports each other. And that, in order to pull off something like EOS, you would have to have an incredible amount of support of people working together, because it's just because it's got to be a cohesive unit. The other thing about companies like EOS and Ethereum, which I think are really interesting, is they have appreciated so dramatically. Not that EOS is doing an ICO, because it's not an ICO. You're actually buying the product. You're buying tokens so that you can use the platform or have bandwidth on the platform. Before you run any API, you're going to have some investment in the platform. So the interesting thing to me is that this has been something that people have listened to and bought into, to the point that there's a lot of appreciation just by people coming up with these ideas. And that's why you see some of these companies, without much going on, become so valuable, because they're opening the door to these ideas, and these ideas are freeing the world of a lot of excess nonsense. So Ethereum, EOS is something very interesting. Should be very interesting to everybody. It's a very complex problem. It's dealing with a lot of issues and a lot of layers, and a lot of levels. Like I say, it's like playing 10-dimensional chess of all the stuff that's going on, and trying to get the speed, and trying to get the price, try to get the user, and not to mention the fact that you got to have a good interface with people so that they use the product. A lot of complexity here. I mean, it's a lot of complexity, and how it plays out, who nobody really knows. Nobody really knows, but they are heading down that trail, or heading down that road of having decentralized systems like this. Super interesting. I listen to a guy like Dan Lerman, where I can understand that he really does think about this stuff really well, really hard. And I do think he's motivated. He has the right intentions and the right motivations as far as wanting to do something that benefits, people. It benefits everybody. So, what is EOS? EOS is a very complex system. EOS is something that is trying to be revolutionary in the world, try to change the world, basically what EOS is. So anyway, I appreciate you watching. Thank you very much.